Yes, 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 yes. 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 What's happening, everybody? How are y'all doing today? How are y'all feeling this morning?
Good morning, everybody.
God damn it. What's happening? All right, y'all.
Wake
All
your
right,
ass
y'all.
up.
Get up. Knock off. Get up. Okay, anyway. That's my I need the crack face from a couple episodes ago.
Hopefully that's the thumbnail.
I need the crack. Anyway. What's happening, y'all? Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's your boy Sincere.
It's your boy Jay Hunted.
And this is the JaySin podcast. What's good, broski? How are you?
Everything is all right, actually. I was partaking in a wedding yesterday. You know, one of my cousins was actually getting married, and I was in upstate New York in Malpac. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but whatever.
Okay, close
in
enough.
this case, and we had a ball. We had a great time. I saw a lot of family that I hadn't seen in about 2 years, obviously due to the pandemic, and it was a monumental thing all around. You know, we had tons of fun. My body now kind of aches from so much dancing that I did, believe it or not. But it was wonderful. It was wonderful to see people once again, you know, that I hadn't seen in a while, in a long while, you know, and I saw family that I hadn't even seen in like, I'd say about 10 years, maybe.
I know Demi was there.
Demi was there as well, my niece. Yeah.
I talked to her. Hola, Demi.
Yeah.
Uh,
And then, like, I don't know. It's like when you don't see family for a long time and you happen to see them at a wedding. It's like, yes, we're celebrating the wedding, but then at the same time, it kind of feels like a family reunion of some sorts, you know?
It's nice. It's nice.
Like an unofficial family reunion at a wedding, basically. So that's what it felt like.
It's nice.
And yeah, it was a beautiful time. Definitely.
I'm glad.
And my week overall, you know, was pretty much productive. You know, I got a lot done, put on a nice outfit on, you know, for the wedding as well. Pictures, you know, forthcoming as well. And, you know, other than that, you know, I can't complain, bro. I literally can't complain.
Nice.
How was your week?
I'm glad you had a good week. My week was kind of busy and hectic. I had some deadlines this week.
In terms of music?
Yeah. I had deadlines for a couple things that are due today. I had to prepare for the show. I was busy. My nephew Bam, his birthday was last week, so we're busy with that last week, and it kind of moved into this week. Last weekend, and that kind of moved into this week. Erica, I saw you. Shout out to my little sister Erica. She was at her friend's 16th birthday party last night, so they had that. Cuddy was. Shout out to Cuddy. He was gonna come up and surprise, kind of spur the moment and see me on Friday, but I had pre-engagements on Saturday morning,
right?
And Saturday, so wasn't a great time. I'd love to see my brother, but I was just busy, and it wasn't a whole lot of super important stuff. Right. It was just a lot of, just always busy. So, you know how that goes.
Not busy like a bumblebee.
Yeah, pretty much. Just a bunch of little tasks, here and there. Some bigger tasks, but just always something to do. Like even when I get off here today, as soon as we get done, I gotta kind of run around for a little bit, and just always busy. But I'll be free a little bit after that. But it was a good week, man. I had no complaints. Man. That's what I signed up for and shit. So, once again, no complaints, man. No.
Yeah, pretty much. I usually think that's what adulting is about.
Yeah, adulting sucks. Adulting sucks. It's terrible. I don't know why I wanted this shit, but
I never wanted this shit actually. All my friends wanted it. All my friends used to shave at the age of 8. They wanted this. I never wanted this.
Yeah, nah. This is my mustache. This is my lifelong mustache. This is it.
Mm-hmm.
This is it. This is what happened in my multiple years on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
This is the mustache that I have acquired. I think it was cut once. This is all it has ever grown to be. I wanted a soul patch for so long. I don't know if y'all can see it. I got like 4 strands of hair. And that was the one thing I wanted more than anything. More than the beard, more than a mustache. I wanted a soul patch. And I never was blessed with one.
You
So
could get a soul patch.
I've
They could draw
tried.
they could draw one in for you because that's what
And
everybody's
I'm
doing
done.
nowadays.
And I am done talking to you. Anyway, welcome to the JaySin podcast. Go get you some merch. Go do it. Go get you some merch. Make it
Oops.
happen.
Here we go.
Make it happen. Also, don't forget, go get you some clap, please. 15% off the clap, please. Use the code PODFOLK. Get your 15% off the clap, please.
Get those clap cleats.
So we got a couple things to talk about today.
Get that traction for that action. You already.
There you know. There you go. All right. So we got a couple things to talk about today.
Oh yeah.
Let's go ahead and move to some of these. If you heard us talking about these on Convos, you are right. If you heard us talk about some of this on Convos, because we had the conversation on Convos on the OT. The difference is we haven't touched on it here yet, so it's not been on the record, and there's been some developments. So, boom. America's government has signed off on not just the $12 billion that Joe Biden had put together, but on sending $13.6 billion worth of aid to Ukraine.
What?
How do you feel about aiding Ukraine or the amount of money? How do you feel about this in this statement? $13.6 billion in aid to Ukraine. How do you feel about this statement?
I think it's a part of a package, to be exact. And then, the 13.6 billion, it's for Ukraine. To be quite honest, I think it's a slap to the American public. I think that there's a lot of things that we need to fix here in our backyard before we go into someone else's backyard to aid them or fix them with anything. And if the money is actually not on the table and it's not around and it's not made and it has to be printed, Economic 101, I believe, tells us that it's a true cause for inflation. Our taxes are also going to be raised as well. And whether or not Russia is trying to take over Ukraine, whether they're fighting, to my understanding, it shouldn't be our concern, especially if it's a country that's not within the NATO treaty, because usually the countries that are within that NATO treaty are like sworn in a way to defend themselves if they are actually attacked by another country. So, given everything that I've said, it's something that I've always been against, and it's just so crazy how these things can just come up and just rise from the ashes so fast. And these things can be agreed upon so fast. But yet we have to have several talks, and government officials literally go on vacation, to make agreements just for a stimulus package for the American people. And it's just so many things that are implicated in this. There's so many layers because we have our veterans that we don't take care of, that the way we actually should take care of them, because they put their line and they put it all on the line, for this country, and they risk their lives as well.
Agreed.
There's a lot of homelessness going on in the United States. There is a lot of crime going on in big cities, at this moment in time. And there's a ton of things that we need to curb, I think, as a country, that us sending this money over there does not benefit us in any way. Whatever money that's on the table again, if it's on the table and we have the money, it should be used for the American people. So to me, it's just a backhand to the American people. And I don't care what anyone has to say regarding us defending anybody. It's not our responsibility. This country, I feel sorry for what's going on, obviously. And then at the same time, it's something that we cannot control. There's certain things that we cannot control in life, basically. So I just think that I'm just against it, bro. I'm just against it all around. I don't care what anyone has to say. They could say that I'm inhumane, that I don't care about people or whatever the case is. It's like no. I care about the people. I care about the people. They need to find a way to basically fend for themselves, like we all do in life.
I understand. I have a I agree. I agree pretty much wholeheartedly with what you. There's nothing you said that I disagree with. We have a lot that we can take care of here at home with this aid money. It's crazy to me because they canceled in the inner cities. They took away millions of dollars in funding for the arts and the after school and sports programs that now have put inner city youths like me and you when we were little into nothing after school. I don't know about you, but I know that was one of the huge things I was into as a kid. Whether it was basketball or football or theater, whatever it was, writing. Like I went to an after school program that taught me how to create. That put me in touch with my creative side.
Mm-hmm.
That is what I use now as an adult. I'm a creative. Where would I be without that? My wife went to a specialized high school for the arts. My sister, Diamond, was super gifted and had every opportunity to tap into her talents because there was funding for it. They took all that away, and these kids who have the talent and the drive, but just don't have the funding because of where they were born or who they were born to. Those opportunities were taken away from them, and they're stuck to do what now? I'm not going to say what can be because we know statistically when you come from neighborhoods like ours what that means. When you come from neighborhoods like ours and you don't have a positive outlet and you're not using your time constructively, we know that not to be this person because I'm not a super religious person. But what do they say? Boredom is the devil's workshop. It doesn't take much for a 10-year-old or a 12-year-old whose parents are working two jobs to provide for a household and there's no one at home until 8 o'clock at night or 7 o'clock at night. It's a lot easier for that kid to get out of school and get swallowed up by something that they have no idea what they're getting swallowed up by. There are vets who legitimately need housing, that need like you said, they've gone and put their bodies, their lives, their mental health on the line, fighting wars for this country like this that they had nothing to do with. Come home and can't get medical coverage for those same ailments that they received while fighting for this country. We don't have money for them. We don't have money to feed our homeless. We don't have money to clean up our streets. We don't have money for the educational system. We don't have money for the underprivileged in our country. We literally take millions and millions of dollars out of these programs every year. We literally, like you said, we go to recess over a vote on whether or not we are going to give the lower class money in this country. And we go to recess over $1 million bill. We don't have 2 million to give to the youth. We don't have 26 million to give to the youth. We don't have 36 million to give to our vets. But we could come up with 13.6 billion for a war that's not ours. I don't get it. It's not cool. And don't get me wrong. I'm not saying we shouldn't aid Ukraine. I personally don't mind aiding Ukraine. I just don't think that we need to be aiding Ukraine to the tune of $13.6 billion. That's all I'm saying. Let's take care of home first. Like, the last statement I'll make on this is when you're on a plane and the plane starts to crash, the first thing they tell you to do, put your mask on first. I can't help you if I can't help myself. I can't help you if I need help. So
you gotta put your mask on first and then put it on your loved ones.
Exactly. So let me take care of home first. Can we take care of home first? Let's try that
for once.
And since we're talking about what's going on with Russia and Ukraine, let's go ahead and touch on Brittany Griner. There have been a couple new developments in her situation. Okay, so let me catch you up for those who don't know. Brittany Griner is if not the number 2 WNBA player, the most popular WNBA player in the world. During the off season, she plays for the Russian team. Okay, she plays for Russia during the off season of the WNBA. So she was apparently caught at the airport with CBD oil at the Russian airport with CBD oil in her bag, which is a huge no-no in Russia because that is illegal. She was detained and has since been detained in February, right as the conflict we just spoke about with Ukraine began and the United States began to aid Ukraine. So she's stuck there. And I wonder why we can't go get her. Well, we'll get to that in a second. The developments are now that her release date has been pushed to May 19th.
Mm-hmm.
And that she has, in fact, been in contact with her lawyers. And that they're saying that she's actually in good spirits. She's not being held in some like dungeon somewhere. She took pictures holding up signs saying holding up just fine. She's in good spirits. She's in essence she's in our version of County.
Correct. Or maybe booking.
Maybe booking, but extended, like because she's gonna be there for an extended period of time.
Correct.
Right. So she's kind of just kicking it. She's not free, but she's not in some rat-filled dungeon,
right? With, full of piss on the floor.
Yeah, like it's
kind
not
of thing.
She's not a prisoner of war.
Right.
There's none of that. But this whole situation, how do you feel about the Brittany Griner situation?
Well, we spoke about this Monday on Convos, and I didn't have much knowledge about the situation until you actually broke things down, because I was actually, I guess, in the crowd that was questioning why, we haven't done anything to try to get her out of there. Excuse me. So after, you had broken things down, I got a better understanding actually, of what was going on. And, what you said makes a lot of sense, or what you said, in that take, made a lot of sense in terms of being in another country. And when that happens, you have to abide by the rules and laws of that country. So you carrying a substance that's obviously illegal in that country, there are going to be repercussions, and there are going to be consequences for those things. And a lot of people need to come to an understanding when it comes to that first. The reason why, as well, we can't go in for her is because we're obviously not in the best terms, with this country as well. And, I'm sure China is going to come up as well, at some point regarding, all of this, because usually things are relative in life. Most things I would say are relative in life. But anyway, to take China out of the equation, but we're currently, not in good terms, with Russia. So it'll be kind of crazy us asking Russia to, let her go. And that'll be like me telling my neighbor, for instance, don't do that or whatever the case is. My neighbor will be like, I could do whatever I want in my house. Who are you to tell me what to do in my house? Your son decided to do this, and that in my house. So he's gonna, suffer the consequences of that.
Right.
So it's like I can't put any more words into it in this case, but all I can say is, whatever she's going through, I just wish her, a lot of strength. Hopefully, she can get through it. Hopefully, her lawyers, can get her released as soon as possible, obviously in a Russian court of law. And, that's the only thing I could really say, at this moment in time, but because it's very unfortunate, yes. But people do have to understand that she is in another country and she has to abide by those rules, regulations, and laws. Plain and simple.
That's it. That's it, baby.
That's it, baby.
I feel like, first and foremost,
Rest in peace.
Yes. There have been
to Razor Ramon, yes.
Scott Hall, rest in peace.
Mr. Scott Hall, rest in peace.
Rest definitely. In peace to the bad guy.
A wrestling legend.
Rest in peace to the bad guy. The Brittany Grines situation has rubbed me the wrong way in multiple ways. Because in every single article that I've read has tried to paint this and spin this as Brittany Griner being some sort of victim or political prisoner or somehow, like, whether it be she's a black woman and this is how they treat black women, or whether it's if she was the second best player in the NBA, y'all wouldn't let this happen. Or stop. What I'm not gonna do here today, I'm gonna save my partner Jay and anybody who happened to tune into the OT. I'm gonna save you the actual breakdown of how none of that makes sense. I am not going to go into the very detailed 10-minute expose that is written talking about the subsidiary of the WNBA to a $8 billion a season NBA, or about how it has hemorrhaged a minimum of $10 million a year since its existence in 1996. We won't talk about a failing business still existing almost 30 years later.
Because of the NBA, actually.
Because of the NBA, and you having the nerve to want to compare apples to oranges. We're not going to talk about that.
Oh, yeah, because people are like, oh, well, WNBA players don't make a lot. So, she has to go overseas to play regardless.
What company is that? What company are you going to get a raise at when the company hasn't been profitable in 26 years.
They haven't been producing, correct?
And I want to work at a company that gives me 6 figures and has yet to turn a green or a black year in business. I want a company to go, hey, we ain't made $1 in 26 years, but we want to give you a 6-figure rate. We're going to give you a 6-figure contract. I'm there. I'm there because the expectations have to be extremely low if you are already expecting this to fail and you're giving me this kind of money. Expectations have to be low. And what bothers me about this even more is we act as if $100,000 is a terrible salary. Only in America do we act like $100K is a god awful salary that no one can survive on. Once again, I'm not even gonna go break that down. I'm not spending my time there. I'm not gonna spend my time talking about how this has nothing to do with her being part of the LGBTQ plus community. Because I guarantee you some of them Russian girls is gay too. Guarantee that. I'm not going to spend time talking about how she's a black woman and we didn't go get her because she's a black woman. It's not what happened. What I'm going to talk about is the one thing you all seem to glance the fuck over. She broke a law. She's a criminal. What more do you want me to say to you? What more do you possibly want me to say to you? How does she get into the country with? See, here's the thing. And this is a question that someone else asked me. When you're flying, I don't know if a lot of you ever flown from. My mom has. She's been in the military and she travels international. So, but when you're flying from one country to another, right? When you're flying from one country to another, the country you're leaving, it is their job to check you. Now, when you get there, they check you too, but things can be shifted. Once your luggage gets into a plane, they don't go through your luggage like that. They go through your carry-ons. If you can get it in on your luggage on the flight there, you're Gucci. Also, let us not forget, these international teams do have private charter jets to fly them from the U.S. to Germany to Russia to wherever else. So it's more than likely that she was flown in on the team's private charter that didn't have to go through customs, but she was flying back commercial to the United States, which is where they caught her. So let's get to the root of this real quick, because that's where I want to be. I want to get to the root of this. I am that person that when it all comes down to what happened, I need to get to the bottom of what's going on, and we can start from there. It's not like somebody just snatched Brittany Griner from her hotel room and threw her in prison, and they haven't given us a reason, and we don't know why she's there, and we are just screaming. No, that's not what happened. Let me explain to you what happened. Brittany Griner is a privileged American. A very privileged American. We in America think that America's laws and the way we live life here is how it goes everywhere. That is incorrect. What happens is when you go to a country, Dominican Republic, Russia, China, North Korea, wherever that may be, you live by their rules. You live by their laws. You abide by them. If you don't, you go to jail. That is what happens. Brittany Griner was trying to leave the country of Russia with CBD oil in her bag and was caught. Whether or not she knew it was there, whether or not it was on purpose it was there, whether or not it was accidental and she forgot it was there because she uses it here in America, all of that is possible. But what is fact is that there was CBD oil in her bag. What is fact is that is a federal offense in Russia. That is a big no-no because CBD oil comes from the cannabis plant, which is highly illegal in Russia. And then trying to get on a plane with it constitutes it as smuggling. She was then thrown into prison. Well, not prison, thrown into her holding. Well, she has been held. And the reason we haven't gone to get her is because, well, 72 hours later, Ukraine was invaded by Russia. So before we could reach out and go, hey, Russia, you want to do us a solid? Let our girl go? Russia went and beat down the door of his ex-girlfriend's house. An ex-girlfriend that we've been helping get her shit together. And now we got to make a choice. We got to make a choice. You know what our choice is? 13 to the tune of $13.6 billion. So Russia invades Ukraine while still holding Brittany Griner in a jail cell, an American. They invade Ukraine. We tell Russia that's a no-no. Russia literally, Putin gets on camera and literally says, if anyone interferes, we are going to show you trouble like your nation and your country has never known. Russia is prepared for any outcome. His words verbatim. This man is willing to let his country die at war for what he believes in right now over Ukraine. Says that he is willing to bring war to whoever wants smoke. Okay? We then double down by giving Ukraine $13.6 billion and saying we ride with them. How do you propose we then turn around and ask the same man, hey, can you do me a solid? Can you let Brittany go? The U.S. has reached out a bunch of times. They can't get a response from the Russian government. I wonder the fuck why. I wonder the fuck why.
Maybe a few maybe a few sanctions here and there, going on.
But the bottom line of all this comes down to one thing. If Brittany Griner doesn't have CBD oil in Russia, she doesn't get arrested in Russia. Has nothing to do about what LeBron would have done or about her having to play there because of low salaries in the WNBA or about none of that shit has anything to do with any of this. You are a privileged American who decided that you wanted to do what you wanted in a different land and it landed you in hot water. That's it.
And I just wanted to add that before all of this happened, I don't think Brittany Griner was treated a certain way, by the Russian people while she was playing in the Russian league. I don't think she was targeted in any way, per se. Mm-hmm. And based on her actions and what she decided to do and decided to pack, within her luggage, that's what brought her to the situation that she is now. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. Because I've even heard things like she was set up. It's like, huh? Why would anyone set up someone like that? And she's not going to know what she's going to have like in her own packages, in her own luggage. Like, I don't know.
Well,
I leave people with these crazy narratives alone, because if it's just, I don't know, common sense is just not common for a lot of people.
let me explain something to you, and then we can move on to the next topic. Because we tend to think that we can go to fuck where we want and do what we want. Brittany Griner isn't even to me, she's not necessarily the example of privilege that we show as Americans. She could have been a mistake. She could have not known it was there. But the whole point is there's some sort of privilege there to think that you can break a law, and because you are American, that you can just then turn around and be, my bad, y'all. I'm American. I'm ignorant to your laws. Sorry, just send me on my way.
My bad.
There's a level of ignorance and privilege that comes with that. But I don't know if you guys remember the story of Otto. Let me make sure I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. Otto Warmbier. This was a couple years ago, and I always talk back about Otto, because that is 110% example of privilege coming back to bite you in the ass. His story is sad, but it's Otto was a college kid who went on a college trip to North Korea in 2016. It was 2016. They went there. He went on a class trip. 2016 went on a class trip with his college cohorts. If you've never known anything about North Korea, they don't like America. North Korea is full of propaganda, and Kim Jong Il literally controls the history books. If you read a history book in North Korea, they literally believe that coronavirus was cured because Kim Jong Il blew it away. They also believe something crazy like he's part dragon. I don't have time for the nonsense that happens in North Korea. I live here, okay? But Otto and his college cohorts decided they wanted to go to North Korea to try to, be white people, and they were being white people in a foreign land. And they got there and they were being looked at, when you're American and you go there, you are watched incredibly close. I don't know if you remember. I don't know if y'all watched the documentary of The Last Dance. These were celebrities. There are soldiers that literally watch your every move.
Mm-hmm.
Your every move. There's no different for college kids or any Americans that go there. They watch your every move.
Right, especially in that country due to the way that they feel about us, like you mentioned. Yeah.
Exactly, because the people that live there don't know anything other than the propaganda. And you can come in there and ruin a whole lot of shit by telling them things that they don't know. So they follow your every move. They tap your phone calls, everything. You have no freedom in this country. Now, Otto was there, and in his hotel were a bunch of posted flyers praising Kim Jong-un. On his way to the airport, as they get to the tarmac to fly back to the United States, they are surrounded by police trucks. The American vehicle convoy is surrounded by police trucks. They are met with guns and are dragged out of the vehicle, laid face down on the tarmac, and Otto is removed. Come to find out, Otto was removed because on his way leaving the hotel, he ripped a poster.
Propaganda poster, right?
A propaganda poster off of the wall. He thought no one saw him. One of the residents of the hotel saw it, reported it was this American who was leaving, and they got to him before he could get on the plane. We're talking about ripping a poster off the wall that he didn't have to do in a country he don't live in.
In a country that don't like his ass either.
He could have left this poster the fuck alone. But no, he's a privileged white American who has to tell them how wrong they are on their soil and that I am America, fuck yeah, and this is what's going on. They grabbed Otto's ass up. Okay? It took 17 months for Otto to get released from North Korea because they gave this nigga a life sentence. 17 months after giving them up, when they returned Otto, he was in a vegetative state and was unrecognizable. When asked what happened, North Korea authorities explained his condition by saying he contracted botulism and taking a sleeping pill. They say this man had lost half of his body mass and complete mobile functioning, along with head trauma and face scarring by becoming ill. He died a week after returning home. He was a kid still. But he is a very real story of stop fucking around in countries that are not yours. This is what it looks like when you really need your country to come get you. This is what it looks like when you need country aid to come get you. Brittany Griner is just fine.
Plain and simple.
Moving on. There was a podcast or a string that I am not going to name, but in my comings and goings, I heard a statement that stabbed me so heavily that I needed to bring it to you for a moment. They were talking about Rihanna being pregnant. And one of the gentlemen on the show said, and I quote, "I wish Rihanna was married when she got pregnant." And then went on to express how Rihanna being pregnant and unwed isn't the wave and it's not the look, and someone of her stature should have. I'm pretty sure you can figure out where this is going.
Mm-hmm.
This was selfish. This topic was selfish. I'm going to tell you this now. I added this topic because I am selfish at times.
We all are.
I don't know how Jay feels about this topic at all. I haven't talked to him about this. I'm sure he has something to say, but I added this because I know I have something to say. And this is my platform. This is my platform to say the things that I have to say. We have this platform that we have created that allows us to say these things.
Exactly.
And boy.
And those who interact with us as well, they can say anything they want.
Hola, Bustelo.
Bustelo. Looks Russian.
That looks Russian. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
greetings.
Whatever you're saying. You're right. Or as they say in Russian, Privyet. That is hello in Russian. Privyet, Bustelo. So, hola, amigos. Okay. Welcome, Bustelo. Welcome. All right. So, How do you
So
feel?
do you want to go first or?
No. They just heard me talking about Grindr. They need a break from my voice.
I just feel like whoever was expressing this was probably someone from like a lineage of the Roman Catholic Church or something like that. I mean,
Roman Catholic Church.
no, it has to be, with that kind of viewpoint and that kind of perspective, to look at Rihanna's situation and just come up with that. For instance, it's like, how about you first congratulate her? Maybe, I don't know if this person did that during the podcast. How about being happy, for Rihanna, that she found some type of stability in her life. She finally found someone who's willing to make it work with her and, to have a family and to settle down, like just all those things, and just be happy, for another successful Black woman having a child, having an offspring, as we say sometimes. And it just seems so traditional. I guess this person is like, once again, he's a part of that lineage, that you should, in order for you to be pregnant, you should be married, or in order for you to even have sex, you should be married, or whatever the case is. That's what this all sounds like. But my thing is, it's like, who cares? It's Rihanna's life. She could do whatever the fuck she wants with it. Plain and simple. And how dare people even mention something like that? How dare that quote be there to begin with anyway? And how dare someone just say that? Like, we're in 2022, people. 2022. Let's try to escape those old traditions and those old norms that we think that the whole world should follow. It's like you can't speak for the rest of us. You can't. He certainly can't speak for Rihanna. Whoever made this comment. So it's just one of those things that makes you think, like, where are we? Where are we as a people? What do we think about? What are the things that we think about before we actually spew them, before we actually express them? And it that bothers me right there. That quote bothers me completely. And I think it's totally uncalled for. I think as a world, we have so many different people from so many different walks of life that do things the way that they see it fit. And I just totally disagree, what this person has to say. And once again, it's Rihanna's life. She could do whatever the hell she wants with her life. Whether she wants to get pregnant whenever she wants to, whether, she's not married or whatever the case is, so what? Maybe in the future she'll get married. Who knows? It's Rihanna's life. She'll be able to choose what she wants to do when she wants to do it. And that's what people need to understand. And people just need to shut up, because this is just being extra, I think. Especially when someone comes out to make a comment like this. And don't come for Rihanna either. Because Rihanna, she's a person that doesn't cause much controversy, I think. Like, she doesn't do it intentionally. She may do it sometimes with her art form or whatever the case is, but that happens with every artist, basically. But I don't think Rihanna should be a person that should be targeted, because she doesn't cause anybody any harm. She doesn't cause anybody any trouble, and she hardly, I think she hardly speaks, on things, or has like these crazy broad opinions on things. She's like in her own lane. She minds her own business. She's making her billions, because she is a billionaire.
Big facts. And
she's just doing her own thing. So people just need to sit down and just shut the fuck up. That's what they need to do. It ain't that serious.
Cuddy.
It's 2022.
I'm not mad at Cuddy. I wish she was married to me when she got pregnant. I'm not mad at that.
I mean, yeah, Cuddy would have a check coming to him, basically, for infidelity. But
me
that's
explain.
basically how I feel in a nutshell about it. Go ahead, kind sir.
To the gentleman who made these statements online. Am I looking directly in the camera right now? I would need you to tell me if I'm looking in the camera.
Yes.
Because sometimes my eyes dart around because I be focused on everything. Okay, I'm going to sit up. Hold on.
Mm-hmm. Take your time. Do you have water there? No?
No. I finished that.
Oh, okay.
Sir, you who made that asinine Rihanna statement this week on your show. You're a fucking clown. You are a fucking clown. First and foremost, we're not going to talk about how you niggas is still waiting on an album. That press. Or that your life is that boring that you care about what she does with her uterus and reproductive organs. That you have no privy to. Shout out to ASAP. Shout out to all of you. Know I would give it up. Or baby that you'll probably never ever have anything to do with. But you sure as fuck have a whole lot of opinion about what she should be doing with all of it. Now, this is no different than men making statements and laws about women and their sex rights and all that. This is no different than that. None. The difference is that you said you wish that she was married because that it set the wrong image and the wrong picture that, Beyonce was married, and when you hit a certain level of success that your family, like, to my knowledge, Rihanna been single this whole time. She built this $1.7 billion empire. Almost $2 billion empire of acting and music and makeup and fashion, and almost $2 billion, mid-30s. That's a hell of a career. You fucking bitches that got BBLs. That ass not even real. You worry about what Rihanna doing with her body and her life
and her uterus.
When you fucking bitches who had to put their stomach into their ass. You having sex with women who didn't even have ass last week? The woman you fucking best financial decision was to buy some titties? And you got the nerve to talk about what a billionaire should be doing with her money? Or her uterus? How dare you, nigga? You're a clown. You're a clown. There are a lot of successful black women, not just black women, but I'm going to stay there. There's a lot of successful black women who can foster children, who, if they wanted to, can just go get pregnant and say, fuck you, nigga, I just wanted a baby. And will be more than equipped to raise this child. I mean, shit. Women raising kids without men all the time now, ain't they? Having $1.7 billion to your name and help you raise them a little bit better than maybe some of the mothers can in the hood, and the mothers in the hood do it just fucking fine.
That's a fact.
I don't know about your moms, because she got you out here saying shit like this, but
yeah.
And this ain't no smoke. Don't do that. You know. This is just my opinion against something I think that you're stupid for saying. But let's leave it there when you hear this. Like, let's just let's continue to just disagree. Let's continue to disagree, and just let's leave it here on the internet. That's all I'm gonna say to that. Because this
I
is
mean,
dumb.
it's gonna
Dumb.
stay. It's gonna
This
stay
is
on the
dumb.
internet.
This is all dumb.
It's gonna stay on
This
the
is
internet.
all dumb. So yeah. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and give you guys a treat because we haven't talked about it in a bit. I don't know how much we're gonna talk about, but boom! I don't know what the fuck is going on in the NFL this all season.
A lot of moves.
It is like Game of Thrones, and I've never seen Game of Thrones, but I assume that this is what Game of Thrones was like. It's just anarchy and chaos everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna throw out some of the things that I've heard, and because it's not really a whole lot to talk about yet, because it's just the moves, and a lot of them haven't even practiced or done anything with it. Like they are literally just. Tom Brady retired just to unretire.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers signed 2 more years with Green Bay just to then have them turn around and get rid of Devontae Adams. I don't get it. Aaron Rodgers is tight.
He's like, what the fuck did I sign up for?
Yo, bro, I promise you, this is the Green Bay ownership going, you wanted to fuck us? We're going to fuck you. They waited till he signed that contract and then threw away all of everything he had. It was like, suffer, nigga, for the next 2 years.
Well, don't forget, I think Green Bay is actually run by a community board. They don't have like an official owner. They just have an official GM.
Yeah, they're owned by the town. I guarantee you that they felt some sort of way about how Aaron was acting. They're punishing that nigga collectively. Like, oh, you dragged our city through the mud last season? No problem.
Yep.
We got you to sign for 2 years. As soon as that nigga signed on the dotted line, get rid of everybody.
We're gonna trade your
get rid of receiver. Julio Jones is released by the Titans.
Yeah, I heard he's currently being courted by Tom Brady to try to get him to go to the Bucks. Basically,
I don't know. Do they need him?
I mean, they could use his services definitely because I don't know if Gronk is going to be able to like come back because I think he retired as well, and I don't know if Brady can convince him this time to come back.
He only retired because Brady retired.
Of course.
I'm sure
because they're sidekicks.
Exactly. I'm sure Brady was like, "Hey, let's get one more run at this thing." Gronk will be like, "Okay." Like Gronk is almost like Gronk. I love Gronk. Like, and when I say this,
he's the homie.
He is the Hulk, or like Gronk is the muscle, and maybe I don't give him enough credit for the brain he has, but I don't need Gronk's brain.
Yeah,
I don't need his brain. I mean, that's what we got Tom Brady for.
Exactly.
Gronk is like the Hulk, or like Solomon Grundy, or something like that. You know, Solomon Grundy.
He's the muscle of the operation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just need you to go out there, catch the ball, spike it. That's it. And come back
and run over people.
Yeah, and do it again. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need you to think. I don't need you to think that you're retired. Just come out here, catch the ball, get in the end zone, spike it. That's all I need. That's it.
Yep. Plain and simple.
Yeah, pretty much. Calvin Ridley is still suspended for a minimum of a year for betting on FanDuel.
Yeah.
He says he doesn't have a problem. It was only $1,500. My problem, like everyone else's, is you gambled away $11 million in your contract for a $1,500 parlay.
And it all, like I said, mostly everything is relative in life, and it all goes back to what we were talking about earlier about abiding by rules and regulations.
Yep.
Rules and regulations. Rules and regulations. Rules and regulations.
That's it. That's all you had to do. That's all you had to do. And now you lost at least one season. Don't forget, this is the type of shit that got Pete Rose banned for life. So
that's something that was going through my mind too. Like, does he know who Pete Rose is? He should do a little bit of research on
he
Pete
got
Rose.
banned for 1 year at least right now. We'll see what happens. Deshaun Watson is officially the Browns quarterback, which leaves the door open for Baker to go where he please. Amari Cooper is also now a Brown after calling Dak Prescott the Black Kirk Cousins. Man, there have been a lot of more. We also lost Randy Gregory.
Yeah, the Cowboys did, correct.
The Cowboys
did. Randy Gregory, yeah, definitely.
Landry is trying to get away from the Browns.
Yes.
What else am I missing? I know there's been something else.
Robert Woods actually signed with the Titans. This is what I'm seeing that's coming in at the moment.
Boom. I feel like
Stafford signed an extension as well with the Rams.
Carson Wentz is now the quarterback in Washington.
Whatever that means.
It means for 2 seasons, for 2 games a season, he gonna cut the Eagles' ass. And then for
he's gonna have extra motivation, definitely.
For the other 15 games, he's gonna be Carson Wentz. But for those 2 games, he balling. He out here.
Watch out, Philly.
He is out here. I heard that the Giants are done with the Danny Dimes experiment, but aren't 100% sure where to go yet.
Gosh. Von Miller actually signed a lucrative contract with the Bills as well.
There's been a lot of movement. There's been a lot of movement.
Yeah, usually that happens in free agency. There's a lot of
but we had a lot of big names though.
Move around. Definitely.
That moved around. Didn't Khalil Mack go somewhere?
Yes, Khalil Mack actually. Hold on.
I remember seeing the Bears got rid of Khalil Mack.
They did.
I thought to myself, y'all retarded. Like,
yeah, they crazy.
Why would you get rid of Khalil Mack? And I'm not supposed to say the retarded word. I'm sorry.
Yes,
I
please.
said it again.
I apologize. Cool. Yes. He went to the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah, so there's just a lot that's going on out there.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of new faces, different places.
How do you feel about the overall off season so far?
I mean, as a Jet fan, I feel fucking terrible because we haven't done shit for our team. And it seems like everybody else is somewhat making moves. But,
I mean, we lost as a Cowboys fan. We lost niggas. We ain't did shit yet.
No, of course. I mean, the only thing I think I can look forward to is the NFL draft, as a Jet fan. And, we always screw that up as well. So, we'll see how it goes this year. But overall, as a football fan, I see it as a good thing,
Yeah.
Sometimes I think certain players need a change in scenery. They need to do different things, or play for different teams is what I'm saying in order to reach their ceiling, as an athlete or as a player. Or when it comes to scheme, for instance, maybe a scheme didn't work with one team, but them moving over to another team could possibly be the best fit for them as well. So, there's been a lot of moves going on. So, I'm sure it's going to continue up until the season, starts.
Oh, yeah. Juju Smith-Schuster to the Chiefs.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's pretty significant.
Ooh.
And which leads to my next comment is the fact that the AFC, the American Football Conference at this moment in time, it's proving to be the NFL superpower.
Yeah.
And everything that's going on in terms of the deals that they're making, in terms of the players that are moving over to that conference. It's making it the top tier conference. It's making it like the old NBA West or like the West is actually currently in the NBA compared to the East. So I think the gap is just getting wider in between the AFC and the NFC, in which I'm seeing that the road of resistance is a lot tougher, or it's going to be a lot tougher in the AFC than it is, in the NFC this upcoming football season.
I agree. Well, I am done with this. It has been a great show.
Definitely.
We have had some good conversation this week. Thank you for everybody who tuned in. We appreciate you. Thank you for supporting. If you don't already, go subscribe. Go follow all of the social media on Instagram.
Get your merch. We still have a few NFTs available.
Yeah, do all of that. Do everything that you should be doing, but you didn't do already.
Definitely. Subscribe to our YouTube.
It's never too late. Go do that.
Yeah. Follow us on Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts.
Do it. Make it happen.
Give us the support. There
we go. All right, y'all. We will see you next week. Tomorrow we will see you on Convos and the OT. If you are not on Convos, hit either me or Jay and on the IG, and we can gain you access tomorrow night, 8 p.m.
to the exclusive Convos app on Apple iOS devices.
Yes. So tomorrow night, for those of you who are on Convos, we will see you there, 8 p.m. Be there or be square. Everyone else, we will see you on Sunday. Have a safe week, everybody. Bless you.
Definitely.